loving someone versus wanting to be loved, can we speak about the difference between loving someone and wanting to be loved? What I have experienced, Kiana, is from a male's perspective, more women want to be loved rather than they themselves actually want to love somebody. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I think it's in, to a certain extent, design. So I'll say it this way. I think with when they always say, what is it? Women fall in love by what they hear and men fall in love by what they see.
Right.
And I think that's like the difference between the two. And I think there's a
Okay.
certain truth in the sense of women of, especially now, I think there's just so many things that one, we're shown we shouldn't be insecure about. And because we're thinkers, like women, we think a lot about everything. The ones that act right are very self-aware. And so they can kind of see of like, I just want someone to accept me for me. And I think that's because a lot of times women, we know we have the capacity to love unconditionally. So we know what you're going to get, quote unquote, from us. And so what we want is for you to show us that you can love us unconditionally too. But that kind of messes it up a little bit because from the guy's side of it, which I understand on your side of, well, now you just want me to love you, but you loving me is conditional on what I do. So now I have to do something to get you to love me, but you want me to love you and you don't do nothing.
And,
So
and
I
as a
think
man,
that's
I don't mind loving you. I'll give you that, right? But like you just said, in order for me to receive some reciprocity, now that's conditional. And now I'm like, oh, wait a minute now. What if I lose the condition? Are you gone? Whatever condition that allowed you to show some reciprocity, what if that stops? Or what if I lose that? Are you going to move on? Right? Men need some assurances too. And it's like, we don't
Mhm.
mind loving. We want to love. We need to love. We need to be able to, we are protectors, providers, and leaders. And you don't protect, provide, and lead what you don't love. So we love you, the children, the wife, and the family, right? So, but it does help for us to be able to know that it's reciprocated
sometimes you gotta say it.
unconditionally.
You gotta say it sometimes. I had a guy bring this up to me, which is something I've actively had to work on because I'm a doer. That's one of the ways I show my love language is I'm acts of service. I will do things without you having to think about it. So in my head, how I grew up too, my dad was big on like, your word is your bond, but you have to do what you say you're going to do. That's what matters is the do. And so I had a couple guys, but it clicked where they had brought up of like, you don't say the words like you do things, but you don't actually say it. You don't actually communicate it. I was just something I had to look at and be like, oh, I have to, like, I'm appreciative. Don't get me wrong. I'm always saying I'm appreciative, but I'm like, I had to change the language a little bit for specifically speaking to men where I'm like, you know what? Instead of you doing something, like if we go out, thank you for that, or holding the door, thank you. Or like I'm saying in my head, I'm saying thank you for the action because I know you didn't have to do the action. On their end, it's I only get a thank you when I do something. So I had to sit there and check in my brain of being like, you know what? At Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I'm a call. Thanks for just being there for me. I appreciate you. You know, another time I'll just sit there and be like, yo, you look fine today. You know, just like random things like you doing your thing. And it's like not attached to any kind of action you've done for me. And then that for him, he was like, now I can feel that because it's not you're saying thank you when I do something. It's just you're just being like your presence as you are is enough for me. And I think across that can go either way, but I do think that's an important sometimes as women, we have to know that men already feel the pressure to do. So we can at least communicate that you still have value even when you don't do something
Yes.
for us.
And Kiana, to a man, that's life. Women don't understand that even that small act of service to him is life because we're raised to go out here as men to sacrifice. So that's kind of, and it's kind of in our DNA. And then we're raised and conditioned to be out here to be leaders, protectors, providers, to sacrifice everything we have over ourselves, our peace, our happiness, our love, our attention, our money. We sacrifice everything for the service of to be in service of your family. So even a small act of service to say a random call and say, hey, I love you and thank you for being in my life, or honey, that suit is rocking today, or oh, you smell good, what is that? Or hey, let me bring you some lunch today. Those things to that man is life. Don't underestimate those small things to a man, because to us that is life. I mean, it is life. I'll take now. We love men. We love physical intimacy, but it's not life to us. That word from that woman that speaks to us, if she speaks it right, it can be life to us. Is that powerful? So yeah, you're right.